happens. Hey, I don't have any problem. I talk to myself all the time.
All right, welcome and thank you guys for being here, the live stream. And I'm sitting down with my good friend Loris Moreno. We're here to talk all things Medicare. So in case you've been wondering, how do I get into Medicare? Why would I want to get into Medicare? How do I get into Medicare? There's contracting, there's licensing, there's all kinds of junk involved. We're going to go over all of those details today in depth and answer all of your questions. So if you are live with us here, either in the Zoom room or on YouTube, feel free to post your questions. Luis and I will circle back to those questions here at the end of the show. But before we get started, I want to say thank you. Welcome to being here. My name is JD Rodriguez, here with the DIG Agency, formerly referred to as the DeFord Insurance Group. We've kind of updated the name to the DIG Agency. Why? Because it's not just about David DeFord anymore, right? It's about you, it's about me, it's about the team, okay? And so if you're interested or looking for a home, we recruit agents nationally to sell final expense both in person and over the phone. And also we help people transition into Medicare, health insurance, ACA, things of that nature. And that's exactly why we have Luis here today with us. So again, Luis, thank you for being here, my friend. I know you're super busy today. I appreciate you taking time to do this.
Oh, I am glad to be here. I love Medicare. Medicare's fun.
Perfect. Well, for those that don't know, I'm actually from New Braunfels, Texas, just up the road from my friend Luis down in San Antonio.
Yes.
And I've been keeping an eye on the weather this year. This has been a brutal summer, man. How are you holding up?
Man, well, we got about an inch of rain a day ago. I think it was a day ago. I mean,
Yeah.
and that was like, I think we're breaking records of how many consecutive days we've been over 100. And yeah, it's ugly. It's ugly, but oh well. Hey, we got a swimming pool. We'll hop in the back. It's
There
my
you
swimming
go.
pool like a very lukewarm hot tub. But oh well.
I will say the one thing I miss is the food down there, man. I need some breakfast tacos, some big red and barbacoa from Tommy's. That sounds good right now.
Oh man, quit talking, bro. Because I tried to go eat. My wife warmed up some leftovers, and it was awful. I'm like, oh God.
Oh, be careful. You say that on camera.
Well, yes. Well, the door is closed, so she.
Okay, good, perfect. All right, well, let's get right into this, Luis. Here's where I think that we should all start. Right, I want to start with why. Why would somebody, as a final expense agent, decide to start selling Medicare? You know, as the classic saying goes, start with why, or more importantly, what's in it for me? Like, why would I want to mess with all this? There's tons of licensing and all kinds of requirements from CMS and things to follow. Like, why would somebody want? Can you break down the numbers and show us why somebody? What is the opportunity with Medicare?
I am pulling that up as we speak. I had a little cheat sheet here, but I've got it here. I'll go over it right now. Okay, so the biggest why is number one is the time frame that we're in is like no other. You have so many people aging into Medicare. Okay, this is going to happen for the next 10 or so years. And when I say so many people, we're talking upwards of to 10,000 a day. A day, guys, not a week, not a month, a day turning 65. Okay. Now you're like, well, that's all fine and dandy. That's great. Well, yeah, a lot of people are aging into Medicare. Here's the problem with this, guys. And this is where you need to realize why we are so needed in this scenario. Okay. When you age into when a senior comes into Medicare, think about this. You're coming from one of three places. Number one, the unfortunate place, you never had insurance. Okay. And now you're coming into Medicare. Number two, maybe you had an individual plan. Okay. Just met with a guy a day, 1 or 2 days ago, paying $1,600 a month for his private Blue Cross Blue Shield individual health plan. Okay. $1,600 a month. And then maybe you work at an employer and they provide insurance for you. Okay, that's it. Those are your three choices. Seniors are going to fall in one of those three categories. All right, let's take the employer, the guy who works for a business, and they provide him insurance. All right, what happens there? That guy is told, here is your plan that we offer. Here are the rates for you. Here are the rates for you and your spouse or you and your family. Do you want it? Very little selection choices. It's more like yes or no type of deal. Okay. On the individual market, they may be getting some ACA plans. They may be getting some short-term health plans that do not cover pre-existing conditions. And then you've got the other guy who's just sitting there with no insurance. All right. So I've set the stage of the senior. Now think about this. They come into Medicare. They go, first of all, they have to figure out, do I need A and B? I mean, A is free. B, you have to pay a premium for. I don't know if I need it or not. Okay. The confusion is starting to set in. And the people at Social Security, they're not trained to teach or recommend. They do what you tell them. If you tell them, I just want A, I want the free one, that's all they give you. Okay. So first level of confusion, they need to figure out, do they need A and B? All right. We know as agents, they need both. Second confusion. Okay. Think about this. The alphabet in the Medicare world. Okay. The alphabet in the Medicare world is this, guys. A, B, Part C, Part D, G, F, N. I mean, if you're an agent, I mean, it's hard to keep up with all that, much less an insured. They got to know, do I need A, B, C, D? I want a G, I want an F. It's just very, very confusing for somebody new to Medicare. And then here's the third thing. Okay, with that alphabet and that level of confusion, now you've got another level on top of this to stack on. That level to stack on is you've got every carrier out there saying we're the best. United, Humana, Aetna, WellCare, AmeriGroup, which is Anthem, Devoted, Snap. I mean, you got, and just in my county, I think I'm to 37 health plans in my one county. Very, very confusing. Do they need an MAPD? Do they need an MA only without prescription drugs? Do they need, oh, let me just, I don't know, how did I forget this one? So they need to decide, do I need to choose an MA plan, a Medicare Advantage plan, or a Med Sup, which is better, which is, you know, so I just painted you a picture there. I mean, JD, if you're a senior and you don't have an insurance background, how confusing is all that?
Yeah, I got to tell you, it is confusing enough, like as a professional, being able to understand and going through all the trainings, both from on the AHIP and then the carrier training and then just Medicare itself. Like there's a lot to learn, a lot to digest. And chances are the senior's more than likely going to get it wrong, and no fault of their own, right? It's because that's the way the system's been set up, overcomplicated. So that's the opportunity, right, for the agent to come in and be the hero, to be able to help these people who in most cases are going to choose the wrong plan without some type of help or guidance, right? And so, Luis, I wanted to ask you though, if I'm a final expense agent, what would be the incentive for me to jump in and start selling Medicare? Like, what do the numbers look like? Why would I want to get away from doing that? Like, I'm over here pumping out numbers on final expense. I get paid a lot of money up front, right, out the gate. And so I'm doing well that way. But do I really want to be on the rat wheel forever? Do I want to have to be selling final expense for the rest of my life? Like, can you tell us, describe that opportunity of what Medicare offers for agents?
Exactly. So you just heard from me right there in a couple of minutes of the confusion that a senior has. So with confusion comes opportunity. Okay. So now you have an opportunity to help these guys out. That's why we as agents are so needed. All right, let's talk figures, okay? And then I'm going to share a document with you guys that you can maybe share with the viewers. I use this quite a bit, but let's talk numbers. I'm going to talk to you right now, 2023 numbers. Right now, if you get one of these 10,000 plus seniors aging into Medicare, and you write them a Medicare Advantage plan, you will earn an annualized commission of $601. Okay, 601, guys. That's a lot of money. All right. Now, after the year is up, they will renew, and you will earn half of that. Half of that is going to be 301. Those are your renewal commissions. Now, here's the beauty of this business. It's unlike final expense, where you get a large chunk of commission up front and very little on the renewal side. With Medicare, if they're new, you get that 601. And then for lifetime, as long as they are with you, they will make you will make $301. Now, let's just take those numbers and let's do math. Okay, with most agents, the magical number is 400. 400 clients. And when I see an agent get 400, they kind of let their foot off the pedal. So let's run some math here. At 100 clients, you're making 30,000 a year. Okay, at 200, you're at 60. At 300, you're at 90. And at 400, you're at 120K. On your renewals, guys, you're now making 5 figures a month. And you could be fishing and golfing and living the dream and just doing your thing and maintaining your book. That is the financial side of this house. It is not the fast money that you make with final expense. It's the slow back end renewal passive income that we Medicare agents enjoy. That is why you want to do this. You don't want to give up the final expense because these people need it. Okay, they should have a life policy to help them with their final expenses. But when you're doing this, you're earning that commission. And every Medicare plan, in fact, yesterday we had one that had a premium, but the majority of them, you have no premium to ask your insured for. It is a $0 premium. You just got to do your job and find them the right plan. JD, that is why your final expense agents want to do this.
Excellent. So exactly what you've talked about, Luis. So let's say like a typical full-time final expense agent, they're going to be selling in the neighborhood of 200 to 300 policies in a year, right? And so if you sold that same number of Medicare clients, 200 to 300, like within 24 months, like imagine what your like renewal income is going to look like after having 400 or 500 clients. So you're going to be making 6 figures within 2 years or less by doing this, as opposed to final expense. Now, do you immediately want to jump into Medicare? Not always, right? Because most agents selling final expense need that immediate money to help fund their business and have some take-home money, right? But over time, you can start cross-selling the Medicare product to your existing book of business. And then eventually you can end up transitioning and flipping it where you're focusing on Medicare and then just cross-selling final expense when you come across those opportunities, right? As you continue to build that book of business up. So to me, that's the number one thing that's like the real advantage of why a final expense agent would want to do this. Additionally, like Luis had mentioned, the number of seniors, people age 65 years and older, as a percentage of the population is going nothing but up. And on top of that, not only do you have an increasing market to work with, the number of agents, like the average insurance agent is in, I don't know what the numbers are, Luis, they're like in their 50s or 60s, like they're getting old, right? They're getting retired. And these Medicare agents, they get lazy, right? They hit that 6-figure renewal and then they just don't want to work anymore, right? So there's tons of opportunity out there for agents. And imagine this, as a final expense agent and dialing your sales process, your presentation, your scripts, your rebuttals, your underwriting, all the things that go into becoming a successful final expense agent, you're selling these people, right? It's a sales process to be able to sell them a policy that's typically, anywhere from $50 to $100 a month on average. Imagine selling a product that was a benefit to the client that you're sitting with, that can get them additional benefits like spending money they can use at a grocery store, or benefits that they can use like to pay their utility bill. And it has no premium to them. Like, how hard is it to go from selling something that costs $75 a month to a product that is in most cases at a $0 premium for them, right?
Very true. And I'm going to make one point, guys. I mean, and this might be not a good thing to say, but it's reality. I sell life insurance. When you're just selling life insurance, these people view you as a salesman. Is what it is. Okay. Now, when you go in there and you start offering Medicare, you start advising them. And what I have felt is that you go from salesman to advisor, trusted advisor, consultant. You're in the attorney, you're in the CPA category with people, okay? Because you're advising them and you're not asking them for any money. Even though we're getting paid, you're advising them. And I think that when you're doing that, it makes your final expense sales easier. Because now you're that trusted advisor for them. The point that you made out there is great. I didn't even think about that. When you're offering these Medicare Advantage plans, guys, Some of you new agents may not know the scope of it, but an Advantage plan fills the gaps that Medicare has. It offers them a prescription plan if they choose the prescription portion. And in addition to that, it offers them these additional benefits like dental, vision, hearing. You mentioned it gives them a little extra money. They get an over-the-counter benefit, a dollar amount monthly, quarterly, where they can buy over-the-counter items, vitamins, first aid items. And then the other deal, some of these plans have flex cards where they take a sum of money and they dump it in there, and they can use that money for pest control, home improvements, in case they need to add rails to the toilet or the shower or make modifications on their home. I mentioned pest control. They can also buy groceries with it and pay their utility bills. So these plans are very comprehensive, and they really are life changers for our seniors when we enroll them in it. So it is all the way around. It's a great, great thing.
Excellent. And Luis, can you speak for a minute to kind of clarify something for us? As final expense agents, when we're going through the contracting thing, we often work with carriers that offer products called Medicare supplements, right? Today, we've been mostly referring to Medicare Advantage. Can you give us a quick recap? What are the differences between the two, and when would the circumstances be better for one client versus another?
I will gladly do that. So I'm going to share, well, I'm going to pull it up here. Do I have the ability to screen share?
Yes, sir. You should be able to rock.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to share. This is what I have a smart book that all of our agents, everybody who contracts with the DIG insurance group, you guys come to my training program, and I give you, let me screen share this, my Medicare smart book that I update every single year. If you're not part of the DIG group or 360, you can buy this, but our agents don't have to do this. So I have in here what I call the money maker, and that is right here on page 12 of this smart book. Okay, so let's go to page 12. Okay, so this is what I call, make this a little bit. Okay, this is what I call where you got the money. I call it the money maker. This is where you guys make your money. So after you've done a presentation, which I teach you all how to do that, you're going to lead these seniors into one of two paths. Option one, option two. You can call it the left or the right. I like to refer to it as like buying a car or a truck. How do you know which is better? If you're in Texas and you own a ranch, you're getting a truck. You're not driving a little Tesla around the ranch. All right. But if you're up in New York, you know, the truck may not be your best option. It's not a right or a wrong option or choice. It's what the senior needs. So let's go over option one real quick, guys. This option one, everybody that ages into Medicare or has Medicare has to go one of these two routes. They go this route, they have to choose two products, a Medicare supplement and a prescription drug plan. Okay. The positives of going this route, number one, is with a supplement, there's no network. Okay. You go with any doctor, any facility, any specialist without referrals. You go anywhere where Medicare is accepted. You don't have to worry about it. The other beauty of this is that the only thing that you have to meet, assuming that you choose a Plan G, is you have an annual Part B deductible that you have to pay. I keep forgetting. It is Part B deductible. Let me get that. Hold on here. I think it's $230. Oh, come on. Part B deductible, $226. Okay, I was using the 2 years number. It's $226. So the senior would pay the first $226, and then after that, everything is covered at 100%. Beautiful thing. Now you do have to add a prescription drug plan. Okay. And that's it. You put those two together and you would think, well, why doesn't everybody do this? Here's the problem. Those two plans have a premium. That's usually the barrier. One thing you guys got to realize is that 9 out of 10 seniors did not plan for retirement. The government's going to take care of them. And if you look at some of these Social Security checks they get, you couldn't survive a week with what they get for a whole month. Okay. And now you're going to go in there and ask them for an approximate premium of $135 a month when they're bringing home $1,200. It's not going to happen, guys. So this is a great way to go, but because of the premium on these two, it makes it difficult. The other negative to this side, JD, is that there's no extra benefits. All that stuff that you guys see on TV, the dental, the vision, the hearing, the over-the-counter, the flex benefits, the transportation, the gym membership, all the extra benefits you do not get with option one. Okay, but that's not to say it's wrong. I sold one of these yesterday. That $1,600 a month guy went with option one. And the reason he went with this one, I was hoping he was going to go here, but he went this way because he travels. He's all over the country. Well, he doesn't, it didn't make sense for him. So we went this route. And he went from paying $1,600 to him having a MedSup, a prescription drug plan, and a dental and vision plan for under $200. He didn't even blink an eye. But if he was on Social Security with a $1,200 check, that $200, there's no way I'm going to get it. All right, so that's option one, JD. That's one way to go. The other way to go is option two, and that's choosing a Medicare Advantage plan. Over here on the Medicare Advantage plan, which I would say, at least for me in my book of business, I capture 9 out of 10 people go this route. The reason they go this route, guys, is number one, no premium. Number two, depending on your area, they're very, very good. In my area, my number one carrier has all the hospitals, has all the doctor groups. It is huge. And of course, they're the elephant in the room, everybody wants it. Okay. So in addition to no premium, I am able to get an HMO or a PPO. I am able to get them all the extra benefits. The only thing that I would see as a downside, but it really is not a downside, is the fact that you have a network that you have to deal with. And that's it. But if you do your job and you check the doctors on that network and they're in the network and that's a plan you recommend, there are no issues. Yeah, if it's an HMO, you may have to get referrals, but the insured doesn't have to get referrals. The agent doesn't have to get referrals. It's a doctor issue. The PCP, the primary doctor, has to get the referrals for the senior. So once you've checked the docs and you've done your job, super, not as much as the negative as one would think. Other than that, there's really not any other negative to the option two. So those are the two ways or the two options for seniors.
Beautiful. Yeah. So to understand the need of these seniors, right? Because there's so many options, so many choices for them to try to get it right on their own. It's just not likely. And just so that everybody is aware, original Medicare, and there's people out there with just original Medicare only. And I've heard Luis refer to it as running around naked, right?
Yeah.
Like nobody wants to see that. So original.
And that's an internal term. That's between us guys.
Yeah. We don't say that to the seniors, right?
Hey,
okay.
I want to see you naked, buddy.
Exactly. So the original Medicare itself is only going to cover, I want to say 80% of their their healthcare costs. The other 20%, they're going to be responsible. And that's the reason why they're going to need to choose one of these plans, correct?
Yeah, correct. Let me share with you. This is part of my book here. Let's see here. Let me find it here. Part A and part B. Okay. It's amazing. A lot of agents don't even know this, and much less insureds. Where is it? Okay, right here. I had it in front of me. Okay, so did you know that there is a Part A deductible of $1,600? Nobody knows that. And did you know that it is possible to have 6 of these $1,600 deductibles in 1 year? Because it's not a calendar year deductible, it's a benefit year deductible. It's rare for it to happen, but it is a possibility. Now, this right here is for Part A. When we get to Part B, you are right. For Part B, there is a $226 annual deductible, but then there's co-insurance after that. On the co-insurance side, you're responsible for 20% of the bill. Okay, so there's the cost of that. And if a senior is running naked, where's the prescriptions? Medicare A and B do not cover prescriptions. They will cover medicines that are administered to you under at the hospital, but anything you have to go to a pharmacy to go get, Medicare doesn't cover that. You have to get either a Part D plan that stands by itself, or you get it attached to your Medicare plan. But those are the numbers. So a senior does not want to run naked.
Exactly. So we've kind of highlighted here the benefit, the need for the client, right, for the seniors, and then also some of the benefits for the agent, right? And let's, for those that don't know with Medicare, the next logical question is like, well, isn't it like health insurance? You have to like sign up during certain parts of the year, or is there an open enrollment period? What does that look like? And then are there some additional incentives available for agents who are doing business during open enrollment? Can you talk about that, Luis?
Yeah. Okay. So I forgot, and I can't believe I did this, JD. So I talked about commissions, and I wasn't done with money. Okay, guys. In addition to these commissions that we earn, every carrier has what's called a health risk assessment that you complete at the end of your application. United is bumping theirs up to $100. Most of them are 75, 125. I think I've seen a carrier at 225. So not only will you get your commissions, but once you complete this assessment, which you're thinking, this has got to be a couple of hours assessment, it takes less than 2 minutes to complete. It's a few questions and you just hit submit. You get your HRA, and there's other terms for this. Carriers call it VBE, there's different terms, but you've got the ability to earn additional funds. All right. Now, as far as enrollment periods, guys, our agents are not seasonal agents. We work all year long. That's why some of these agents are able to build massive books. So as far as enrollment seasons are concerned, we're about to enter the largest one, and that is the annual enrollment season, the annual enrollment period, AEP. This AEP season starts October the 15th and ends December the 7th. During that time period, guys, it is game on. Everybody comes out from their holes. These retired agents with heavy books, they're coming out. It is at the time of the year where people make changes in their plans, or if people miss their enrollments, now they can get in. Okay, it is the season. And you guys probably know this. If you happen to watch TV during that season, you are overwhelmed with commercials about Medicare. In fact, they're starting already. Okay, so that is one season. When December the 7th closes, you can pretty much chill out, okay? Because at that point, you really can't do much unless you have somebody who is turning 65. All right, so let's assume you're out of that season, and then the next season starts. So write this down, guys. You have AEP is number one. The next season, and it's really not a season, okay? Because it's not supposed to be marketed. It's called OEP. Open enrollment period. This is from January the 1st to the end of March. It's the first quarter of the year. And this thing is designed for people who have an advantage plan to make a final change. Maybe they made a change during AEP and they screwed up. They something happened. They went to the doctor. Either the agent didn't do their job, or maybe the insured didn't do their job, and they just chose a plan. And now they're regretting it. It gives you that one final time to make another change. All right. So first quarter of the year, that's OEP. All right. Now, what happens after the end of March? Where from that point until the next AEP, our agents are still working. All right. Most agents at that point, literally, hey, it's time to go back into my hole. It's time to get back on the golf course or play some tennis or go fishing or whatever. Okay. Now, through end of March, October again, our agents are selling a lot. And that is because we have other elections that we can use. We have disaster elections. When I say an election, I'm referring to as a code that is utilized so that you can enroll somebody into a plan. So we have disaster. That's number one. And they're all over. Just found out Texas has got one for wildfires. I don't know where we had a fire in Texas, but nevertheless, it must have been a fire somewhere. And we got a list of counties where we have a disaster. You can use 5-star. Some of these plans have very high ratings, and they may have a 5-star, and you can write somebody into that plan all year long. Number 3, LIS, low income subsidy. This is a additional benefit that they get from Social Security that helps them with their prescription drugs. And it is something that they can qualify for based on their assets and their income. If they qualify, you can utilize the LIS to enroll. You can use it when somebody gains it. You can use it if somebody has it, which we call maintaining. And you can use it when somebody loses it. Okay. Excuse me. Same thing happens with Medicaid. If these people have Medicaid, very same scenario. Gaining, losing, or maintaining, you can utilize that election. And then we have another one that we use. Okay, we have one that's called chronic. All right, how many people around the country, seniors? I'm going to probably not people, but I'm going to use percentage. I would say 3 out of 4, maybe 60%, somewhere in there, have a chronic condition. In most counties, we have a chronic plan. The chronic condition that we utilize the most is diabetes. If they're diabetics, they can be on metformin or they can be on an insulin. Doesn't matter, as long as they are diabetics, we can move them into a chronic plan designed for that specific chronic condition. There's a whole list of other ones. The ones that I've seen are diabetes and certain cardiovascular conditions. I've seen some other ones across the country. I think I've seen COPD, but you will not find one for high blood pressure or high cholesterol. Those are just not 2 that are in there. But plenty of elections to utilize to write business all year long. Okay, so a lot of opportunity, JD.
100%. So, and in case folks hadn't already figured this out, as a final expense agent, our target market is typically the same market for Medicare people, right? And that's the reason why final expense and Medicare, to me, in my opinion, kind of go together like peanut butter and jelly, right? Because in often cases, like you're sitting down and helping protect these families with these life insurance policies, right? On taking away that undue burden that they would leave to their family. And now in this case, you're actually helping these folks, making sure that they're able to cover their healthcare needs that they wouldn't otherwise be able to afford. They're getting sent bills to their house, things of that nature. And then all the additional benefits that, again, they may not be able to do the shopping to find these benefits for themselves and getting themselves transportation to go see the doctor, to go pick up their prescriptions, things of that nature. So if you haven't been convinced, or if you have rather been convinced already, like, hey, you know what, I'm interested in doing this Medicare thing. Like, the money sounds good. These people need our help. They can't figure out this stuff on their own. If I'm a final expense agent, what does it take to get started in selling Medicare? Obviously, I've already got a life license. If you're a final expense agent, hopefully you've already gotten your health license already. If you haven't, that would be step number 1, is getting your health license. And then from there, Luis, what would they need to do?
All right. So this is the way it works, guys. All right. So number 1, before contracting, we require you to go do AHIP. Okay. JD, do you have that code, the code that agents can use? Maybe we can post it. If not, I'll get it for you here in 1 minute. But you have to take AHIP, guys. AHIP is it is the Medicare 101 that all of us have to take every single year. It is a beast of an exam. 5 modules, okay, and then you have to take a final. 50-question final, and you got to score a 90 or better. Okay, it is not easy, guys. A lot of agents freak out. You can only take it 3 times, and then you got to go rebuy it again. But you think, well, how much does it cost? It's normally 175. And then JD, I will get you the discount code that we have to knock it down to 125.
Yeah. And if the folks don't have access to that, shoot me an email. I'll be happy to share it with you, jd@doforwardig.com, and I'll make sure that you guys get it.
Okay, so I'm going to pull it up right here. Okay, so you do AHIP first. In fact, I'm going to get it right now. Here we go. I'm going to share it with you. Copy link. I'm just give it to you in the chat, JD.
Beautiful.
Bam. Okay. All right. So use the code, you get it for 125, $50 less. Once you have taken the AHIP, now you can go request contracting. Okay, you can get your contracts. We will help you with what you need to get, but I usually tell new agents, just get a couple. Don't go crazy and get everything in your county. You can go to Medicare.gov and there's a search button, search for plans, put in your zip code. And then when you put in your zip code, you get a list of all the plans. Okay, I would suggest number one, that you choose the big boys. Okay, United, Aetna, Cigna, Humana, and maybe WellCare. Okay, start with those 5. And here's why. It's not like life insurance where you can just go choose 20 of them and you're good. What's going to happen is each carrier that you choose, you're going to transmit the results of your AHIP to each carrier. And then once they acknowledge that they've got it, then they're going to say, okay, great, JD, now you have to go do our certification. Okay, some of them are easy. Humana took me 10 minutes. United took me a couple of hours. Okay, no, I did the fast pass. Oh, it's something else. I had a lot of production on them. They gave me a break. But most agents will have to do the training with United, with Aetna. So you've got to do additional training. So you don't need all 10 carriers right now. So start with those 5 big boys. And then if you need other carriers, you can pick them up later. So you get those 5 and you get the carrier certification. Okay. Then after you pass their exam, then you're going to wait for a ready to sell. Okay. That's an email you get. Say, JD, you're ready to sell. Boom. They also tell you, go order your enrollment kits. Okay. You order your enrollment kits and you're literally just waiting around for the kickoff meetings, which are probably going to start mid to late September. Okay. The kickoff meetings, every carrier will have meetings in the area and they're going to showcase their products for the following year. We also have, and I will share this with you, I now have the first looks for most carriers, and maybe we can share that with the agents that are already on here. First looks. Okay, I'm going to give this to you guys. So I do have, here we go. I'm going to share these with you, JD. We can get this to there are all the first looks for carriers. So you can see what the plans are going to look like for 2024. Okay, it's kind of cool to see what, who's going to be the hot carrier. We don't know. Okay, now you're AHIP certified, carrier certified. You've ordered your kits. You're ready to go. Then what? So we are not just a contracting organization. All right. We don't make money till you guys make money. So just because you know all that, guys, I will tell you, you still don't know what the heck to do. Okay, you may have all the knowledge, but it doesn't, you don't know how to apply that knowledge. So that's where I come in. I've been doing this for I started in 99. I think it's 24 years. Okay, I've been doing this. All right, most of it, I got it up here, but I have a training program that you will be placed into. We have a school platform just like David's. Okay, but this is specific to our Medicare and ACA agents. I have an 8-week course. We meet twice a week. One time we meet on Tuesdays. It's a sales and marketing course. We talk about sales, we interview agents. But on Thursdays, I do Medicare 101. And here's the deal. Those of you that are watching live right now, or you catch it later. Okay, I just completed week 7. Next Thursday is week 8, and I recycle the course all over again. So this is great timing for you. But I also have them all recorded, so you can watch them on our school platform. So I will train you. Okay, I will go through the first portion, which is just the the introduction to Medicare. I will do Medicare 101, where you will learn the basics of Medicare. We'll get into quoting and enrollment, and then we will top it off with bundling. Because, and I forgot this again about money. God, I'm missing a ton of money, JD. So we got commission money, we got HRA or VBE money, which is the assessment money. But not only that, guys, if you sell a MedSup, I will train you on how to add dental and vision to that MedSup, because it doesn't have it. And if you sell them a Medicare Advantage, I will show you how to add an indemnity product where you can make, again, another couple of $100 on top of your other commissions. And so we go from, you don't know anything, then you know AHIP. I teach you how to apply that knowledge. I tell you how to do your job. We go over compliance, which is huge. We talk about the presentation, and then we get to the end where you quote and enroll and you bundle. I do it all, guys. So you come out of my course confident to sell. And then the next thing that you get, that I will be damned if you're going to get this somewhere else, JD. Okay. I told our group, if what happened to me in my first couple of sales, I would call my guy, hey, I need help. I got a call back a week later. I'm like, I lost a sale, man. They went with somebody else, man. Thank you. You suck. Okay. It was awful. Well, not with us, guys. With us in that school platform, you ask questions. Okay. And I tell agents, you're going to ask questions that are not time sensitive. And every question that you have is not time sensitive, or it is not time sensitive unless you're with a client and you're stuck. Okay. That's my guarantee that I have done with our agents. If you're with a client and you're stuck, you call me on my personal cell. Okay. If you're not with a client, go put it in the platform. Don't waste my time, because I'm also an agent, guys. I'm in the game just like you guys. But when I get a call from you, I'm expecting, oh, JD, you're with a client. How can I help you? And they're like, no, I just had a question. We're like, that's what school is for. Go put your question on there. First, go research and see if that question's been asked, because it's already probably been answered. And then if it's not, put it in there. But if you're with a client and you're stuck, I mean, I've been in the middle of appointments and I don't have a problem. I just tell my client, hey, I got a new agent. I got to help him out. Would you know, and usually they don't care. I mean, the crazy one that I had last time, JD, and this is about a year ago, I was doing coach pitch and an agent called me and says, Luis, I've got my first appointment. And I'm like, okay, man, I'm going to be on the field pitching when you call me, but I'll take your call. And literally he calls me and I'm pitching. What coincidence? Why couldn't our girls be doing something else? But there I am pitching the softball and I'm talking to the agent on the phone. Hey, but he closed the deal. So that's my guarantee, guys. You're not going to find that anywhere, guys. I can promise you that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I remember you sharing that story. I coached Little League myself, so I definitely remember that. So just a recap of kind of where we've been at, and then what we're going to do here at the end of the show is we're going to circle back and answer anybody questions that you guys have. I may have goofed and put the wrong link for Zoom, so that's maybe why we're crickets over there. But if you're over here on Facebook, on YouTube, feel free to throw some questions in the chat, and Luis and I will circle back to that here in just a moment. I know, Luis, we're coming up on the hour pretty quick, and I want to let you get out of here. But before we go, again, I want to recap. Number one, we talked about why you would want to sell Medicare, what's in it for me, what's in it for the client. We also talked about what Medicare is exactly, because it's kind of, a big thing to kind of wrap your brain around for new agents. We talked about how to get certified to get started selling it. We talked about the training process. Obviously, we can't throw all of the training in this little tiny video, but we described to you the access, the training, the Medicare 101 that Luis does for all of the agents. The next thing that I want to cover before wrapping these up here, Luis, is how would an agent get in front of people? Like, now I'm trained, I know what I'm doing, I'm certified, I've gone through all the steps. Like, how do I get in front of people to talk to them to start selling it? Now, as a final expense agent, the easy low-hanging fruit is going through your book of business. And with annual enrollment period coming up here starting in October, that's the obvious play to go to, right? Going through and contacting everybody that you've ever sold a policy to, heck, even all the people that you didn't sell policies to, start there, right? Start with that. You got zero cost of lead, so every sale that you make is just going to be goes immediately to your bottom line. Now, once you run through your book of business, what would be your next steps, Luis, that you would recommend for agents to get in front of people?
So I was digging in my computer bag. Okay, these have to be changed. You can't use these anymore. Okay, we have a lot of compliance rules, which we go over the agents, but we can no longer say, ask me about Medicare. You have to change it now to ask me about Medicare insurance. Ask me about Medicare plans. But you put this button on you and you go do your final expense app and you're sitting there talking to them and you're just like, you're wanting them to bite the bait. Okay. So you're there trying like, come on, ask me. Okay. So you can compliantly get into the conversation. So ask me about Medicare insurance, ask me about Medicare plans is a great thing to do. The other thing is the reason I have this cover page on the Smart Book. Well, I'm not going to open it up here, but I tell agents, you print it out and on every FE appointment, you drop it on the desk. Whoa, you mad? But you get their attention. Oh, you do Medicare? I'm so good.
All right. Seems like we had some technical difficulties. We did lose Luis here in the process. But just to wrap things up here for you guys, I wanted to mention to throw out what do I do next? If you guys are interested in selling Medicare, you're considering getting into insurance, you're a final expense agent somewhere else, you're looking for a home, for a place to get contracted to sell these products, let me show you where you're going to want to go next. So right here, I just want to share with you guys, this is a little bit more about the DIG Agency. In case you're looking for a home for yourself to sell final expense and eventually work your way into Medicare sales and ACA health insurance. The reason why you'd want to join, the top 3 reasons that I like to cover with folks is number 1, we have the training, the guide, the mentorship to help make sure you're successful, both in final expense and as Luis shared there in Medicare as well. We've got access to high quality leads that are fresh and exclusive to you. We don't sell leads. We're not in the lead business. We don't make money off of leads, but we do help agents find the right leads for your business. And of course, we start people with top level commissions, starting most agents out or all agents out, new agents at 100% or better with most carriers, with the ability to go up to 130% with production. So that's a little bit more about the DIG Agency. There's options to get some free training. In case you guys aren't already there, I want to invite you to go to daviddufour.com. Punch in your email. It's going to give you access to the school website with a bunch of free resources website, both for final expense, ACA, Medicare, scripts, training videos, all the stuff that you guys are going to want to know. If you're interested in starting right now, though, you can simply go straight to the apply button there. And then just want to throw this out there. We are doing a road tour this year. We're hitting several cities between here and the end of the year. This is going to be final focused, and this will be final expense focused with the ability to go sit there 9 to 5 to go over that information. And then lastly, I did want to cover just before we get out of here, in case there's any questions that we may have on the live stream. Luis, he's back in the house. We had some technical difficulty. There you go.
I think I lost my internet, but I am doing it off my iPad. And which is on sale. But I wanted to finish off with, if you have an existing business relationship, you can contact your clients, cold call them. Hey, JD, how's that final expense policy coming along with you? Blah, blah, blah. Well, by the way, hey, I'm doing Medicare now. So we're we're the annual enrollment. Can I come by and see you tomorrow? I mean, you don't even have to dance around it. You just go straight for the kill. So number one is you can use these little buttons to kind of entice. You can slam your smart book to get their attention. You can work your existing book of business. And then there's a lot of grassroots marketing stuff that you can do. Okay. Some of the grassroots marketing that I do a lot is I go network with doctors. I network with financial pros. I have my financial advisor who literally what he did. Oh, looks like I got my internet back. Let's see. I'm going to join. Can you pick me up on there? So I was going to show them this tool that I created.
Yes, sir. You got it, my friend. Let me get
Okay,
you out in here.
There we go.
All right. There we go. You're muted right now.
Okay, I'm so sorry, guys, that I have my internet connection. But every agent should have a tool, any kind of CRM. This is mine that I use. But what I did is my entire book of business, my auto clients, my home insurance clients, my commercial clients, my ACA clients, everybody is in this book. Okay. Now, what I did is I put them in here. And in addition to putting them in here, I add their date of birth. Okay. So check this out, guys. What this CRM, what this flow does, it looks for every client who is turning 64 and a half. Agents go crazy for turning 65 leads. You guys will jump in front of a car to get a turning 65 lead because you know how much money we get. I mean, I've seen organizations dangle turning 65 leads. I mean, they're trash, and agents, they're like an insect to light. They just go straight at them. So the only true T65 list is the one that you create for yourself. So this workflow searches my entire database, finds me turning 64 and a half. I want to get them before they're 65. Because what we're going to do is we're going to call them and we're going to tell them, hey, JD, and look, here's my intro email. Look here on the right, guys. It says, hey, JD, happy birthday. Okay, I know it's 6 months too early, but I wanted to reach out to you and let you know that at 64 and a half, I have a lot of experience with Medicare and would be happy to help you navigate the system. As you approach retirement age, it can be overwhelming. This trigger link is a calendar link, and I give them some information. I also send them an email, okay, because I don't know how these people are going to respond, okay? I'm going to wait a few days. Well, in fact, I wait 90 days, and then now they're 64 and 9 months. At this point, I'm telling them, hey, it is time to enroll. It is important that you get your A and your B. But by this time, I've already had conversations. I visited with them. I'm getting them set up for Medicare so that I can now get them ready for my moneymaker, either the option one, option two. So I do this. Now, I also have another workflow right here. Final expense, Bob. Bob stands for Book of Business without MAPD, cross-sell Medicare Advantage during AEP. So I created a workflow that takes my entire book of final expense or life insurance clients, and it will send them a text and an email on October the 1st. And it says, hey, JD, hope this finds you well. As your trusted life agent, I want to remind you of the upcoming AEP and la, la, la. I'm just letting them know that they can visit with me. And I'm hitting them consistently every week about AEP. Okay. These are not my clients, guys. These are just my final expense clients that do not have Medicare with me. They may have it somewhere else, but I'm going to try to do my job to get them with me. Also, I've created workflows that nurture my book of business. So I've got workflows here for Medicare post-enrollment for Medicare Advantage. I got another workflow here for post-enrollment MedSup. I've put these together in this CRM, which you guys can do to any CRM, but you get to nurture your book of business. And then the final thing is you can actually run Facebook ads. You have to be very, very compliant and generic. You can go work retail stores. That's where you partner up with a carrier. You get to that rep may set you up with a retail opportunity at a pharmacy, a grocery store, a senior event center that they can put you somewhere where you're going to be in front of seniors where you can help them. There's a lot of opportunity out there. And then the final thing, JD, and this is important, compliance is getting harder for us due to all the crap that some agents do. It's getting harder for the rest of us. All right. What I mean by harder is we now have to abide by the 48-hour scope of appointment rule. They took it away. We always had it. They took it away for a couple of years and now we got it back. A lot of agents think it's the end of the world. We all survived with the 48-hour rule prior to them taking it away, which means now we have to get a scope sign and visit with them 2 days after. It sucks. It is what it is. But there's two exceptions, guys. Two exceptions. The first exception is a walk-in. They either walk into your office, they walk into your booth, or you capture an inbound call. They call you, you don't have to worry about the 48-hour rule. So a lot of opportunity.
Gotcha. And there's also a lot of agents out there, much similar to what we do in final expense, that are using direct mail pieces. Is that a common practice as well, Luis? Does that 48-hour rule apply there?
It does. It does. So yeah, direct mail is king. Okay. If you're getting a direct mail piece for life insurance, you can go do what you got to do. Door knock them, call them, hound them, do whatever you got to do. And then you got to put bait out there for them to bite your bait, and then you can do your Medicare deal. But if you are running Medicare specific direct mail ads or pieces, you got to be, the pieces now have to be very specific with what you're going to do with the information. If you're going to capture phone number and email, you have to disclose on the piece that you're going to use this, and that by them signing and submitting it in, that they're giving you permission to contact them. Okay, it's not like the old pieces of a year ago. Now this is what you've got to do. But you can't beat the shelf life of a direct mail lead. Facebook leads, social media leads, those things die off quick. But direct mail, man, I think even in the final expense world, those are king, aren't they?
Yeah, 100%. We're still recommending direct mail. There's some people that run Facebook ads as well, but direct mail is and still will be moving forward king as far as generating leads. Before we wrap things up, I want to let Luis get out of here. I know your time is valuable. I don't want to keep you too much longer. This will be the final call for questions. So if you're watching us here live on YouTube, throw the question in the chat. If you're watching this video later, feel free to jump into the description. There's links in there. Get in touch with me. Shoot us a message. Hit the contact link on the website, daviddeford.com. I'd be happy to circle back and answer your questions, either myself or forward it over to Luis if I can't cover it. So real quick question I've got here, Luis, before any other last ones roll in here, is it too late to contract if I'm with another? So this is kind of two questions. Is it too late to start getting contracted, right? We've got AEP coming up. And then also, what do I do if I'm with another agency? How do I get moved over to DeFord Insurance Group or over to 360?
Yep. Number one, it's not too late to sign up. If you are a new agent, you don't have any Medicare contracts, get them now. Okay. Second, if you already have contracts and you're like, man, I want to move over to these guys, I'm going to love them, then you have to ask for a release. Now, I'm going to think that here pretty soon, next week, 2 weeks, we're going to come into the blackout dates where you're kind of stuck where you're at. Okay. And then what has to happen is we don't want you to stop selling. You go earn a living. Then what we'll do is, if it happens to be that you're in the blackout date, we will revisit it in January when the blackout dates are gone, and then we can work on transferring you over to us.
Perfect. Excellent. All right. So for anybody who wants more information, again, links are in the description. And then also, let's do a little teaser here. Luis, Medicare is not the only health insurance product that final expense agents can transition to. Can you talk to us about the other opportunity for folks under 65 real briefly?
Yeah, this is my baby. I mean, I love Medicare, but I've got a healthy book of about 1,000, and I'm super happy. I maintain my book, but where I grow and I go crazy is the ACA. All right, through our organization, through David, you can get with him. We can offer you ACA contracts. ACA is the Affordable Care Act. It's not insurance, it's a law, but the carriers that are playing with the law can sell insurance, and it's the law of the land, guys. ACA is hot, okay? It is hot for various reasons. Number one, the money potential. We make as much as Medicare. Every head that we enroll, we're going to make approximately $23 to $25 a head per month. So you go, let's just do 25 because it's easy. You go write mom, dad, and 2 kids. That's 4 heads. That's $100 a month. Like, that's not a lot of money. Come on, ding dong, annualize it. That's $1,200 a year. Imagine you go write 100 of these, you just make 100,000. And I'm going to tell you some real numbers. You're going to be like, no way. I got real numbers. This last open enrollment, I have one guy sitting over there, full timer. I had to get another guy part-time. Between us 3, we sold a little under 1,400 applications, not heads. For sure, it's 1,400 heads. Some were 2 heads, some were 4 heads. We probably did 1,800 heads. I haven't counted. In 2.5 months, the open enrollment season for ACA starts November the 1st, and it ends January the 15th. Guys, ACA is humongous, a lot of potential. And here's the deal. It kind of feeds into everything that we're doing. Guess what these ACA people need? Life insurance, final expense. Yeah, they're younger. Hell, sell them term insurance. Who cares? Life insurance is life insurance. Final expense is life insurance. Okay. The other deal, what's happening to the ACA book every single year? They're getting closer and closer, or possibly aging into Medicare. There's your lead source for your Medicare. I use ACA to build everything in my agency. I use it to build my auto, my home insurance, and my commercial books of business. And it is the primary source of how I build my ACA book. I'm sorry, my Medicare book. So if you're not doing it and you want to, get with JD, he'll get you guys set up. And then in addition to that school platform, we have a Wednesday course for ACA. I have a 5-week course for ACA. Also for ACA, I did create one. Let's just say for some reason, and I don't know why, you don't want to come to us, but you decide or possibly you're with somebody else. I have a course that you can sell, that I sell, that you guys can buy. And it's the same thing that I provide our agents. I'll give you the link to it, JD, and you can share it with them if they want to go buy this course. And if there are agents, you don't need to. You can here it is, JD, going your way right now. But we have this course that if you want to go buy it, you're welcome to, and you can stay where you're at. You have whatever organization, but we are kicking butt with ACA.
Beautiful. I love it. So again, thank you, Luis, for being here, sharing that information about transitioning from a final expense only agent into selling things like Medicare. And hopefully if you have time here between now and the end of the year, we'll circle back. We'll have the same conversation in regards to ACA for folks that are interested. But again, anybody else who's interested in joining the agency, you would like to work with DIG, or you would like to work with Luis, please check the description box below and reach out to us, start the conversation. We'd love to bring you on board and help share with you all the assets and benefits there are here in the Medicare world. So Luis, my friend, thank you again, and I'll see you next time.
Yep. And guys, just know that we're the same team, DIG and Luis. I mean, I just trained David's agents for ACA and Medicare. So a lot of agents get very confused. Do I go with Luis or David? No. You can go with David. We're all part of the same organization. We all live in the same house. So you can get with David. He can get you set up, get you contracted, and then I'll get in there and I'll train you. So I look forward to it, man. And we definitely need to do an ACA live course.
Sounds good. We'll be there for that. And thank you guys for joining us today.
All right. Have a good one.